Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame, and this is the recap review for Ready to Love. So, the episode started out where it left off last time, where we are about to find out whether or not Cornelius or Naim, or however he pronounces his name. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I feel like I hear people say it so many different ways. I'm like, how do you pronounce it? But anyway, we're trying to figure out which one of them are going home, if not both of them. And at the end of the day, they said that Cornelius was the one who was not ready to love, and they allowed Naim to stay. And I'm just like, why? I'm pretty sure that in the past, I have already said that I don't understand why he's there. He is not making connections. He has been somebody who has been skating by, and I just don't understand. Like, nobody is here for him. Uh, Zadia had moments with him on the date she had previous to them going to the mansion or whatever it was that they went to and they spent the weekend together at, but to me it wasn't substantial enough to be like, ooh, let me set it off for him. Um yeah. You could tell that Zadia is definitely in her feelings because Aisha is the one who was able to get Dante and not her, but it's like you ain't do what you're supposed to do. And she feels some type of way because when they deliberated last week, it was brought to her attention by Aisha that she received a massage from Dante and she was looking crazy. You could just tell that there was egg on her face, whether she wants to admit that or not in real life, but it is what it is. So anyway, as I expected to happen, Camille sat up there and basically said, my journey is ending because I feel like we're supposed to be together, so I'm gonna leave too. And I'm just like, child, I really hope that Cornelius has enough sense to understand that Camille is not the one, and that if he is going to deal with her, that she needs to understand that he is someone who needs to explore other options outside of the show and not just deal with her because she's crazy. Like, something is wrong with her. Something is wrong. She has this need to tell somebody, you are my man, you are my boyfriend, we are together, we gonna do this and we gonna do that, and she barely knows these people's names. It would not surprise me if she did not know this man's middle name, if he has one, what his birth date is, where he graduated from, like things that are very, very easy to know, or you should know about the person that you are saying that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, which is what she over here planning out. Crazy. Okay, I'm just tired. And because he was just like, what are you doing? She hadn't even said anything yet, and he was just like, what are you doing? And it's like, you could look at her and tell the crazy is coming out and she about to do the most, and she's just like, I don't have anybody else that I'm pursuing. He's the one I know I'm supposed to be with. And I'm just like, I cannot wait till the reunion, because no, this is a no. I cannot wait to see how it goes. Hopefully he does not feel like he has to deal with her, because everybody else who he has had moments with, their connection seems stronger than what his connection is with Camille, in my opinion. And in all honesty, she poked the bear when she did what she did, because Naim, however he pronounces his name, I'm trying to tell y'all, ain't nobody here for him. Ain't nobody never really been here for him like that. It just is what it is. The truth is just the truth. I don't understand how he's been able to stay as long as he has. I do not understand. I don't get it. But Camille left when Cornelius left, and Naim was looking surprised, like, oh, they say I'm ready to love. Oh, okay then. Yeah, everybody's confused because it should have been a double elimination. Like, he should have been a part of a double or triple elimination episodes ago. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Who is here? Who actually is here for him? Who is really here for him? Who is legit here for him? And they see themselves with him outside of a friend. Who? Who really is here for him? Who ain't sitting up here saying, all right, since this person don't want me, I'll settle for this. Raise your hand. Oh, that's what I thought. Okay. Shiloh and Phil are having a little date. I guess they're at her home and she's cooking wings or something in the oven. And she likes to play games. Like she likes questions and things like that, which I understand. I like stuff like that too. But so she's playing these different games with him and she's trying to gauge where his mind is at because she knows that he has several connections and she wants to know where she stands with him. So eventually it gets to a point where she decides to put her cards out on the table, literally, not just the cards that were in her hand. She wanted to lay them all out and let him know that she was here for him and to see where he is with that. So instead of him answering, he sat up there and kissed her. And I'm like, and even in the confessional, she was like, yeah. And he, like, in front of him and even in the confessional, she was just like, yeah, that was really quick. Like, I don't know if he was kissing me to shut me up. Like, what? Like, okay. But in her mind, part of her is like, okay, I feel like he did this because maybe he will, let it be known that he is here for me. And I'm like the strongest connection. And I'm like, no, ma'am. I'm going to need for you not to believe that that's what it's going to be. So anyway, we start to see Dante and Aisha having moments. He is really, really here for her. And she was doing some, I guess, naked meditation or some sunbathing or whatever. And he saw her that morning, but she didn't think anybody was outside. And so it got to a point where everything kind of got brought up, what happened. And she was just like appreciative that he actually came to her aid and treated her with respect instead of trying to judge her or make it seem like she was overreacting or whatever. And he actually saw her side in it all because, yeah, Zadia was stirring the pot and she did not want to recognize that. I ain't gonna lie, like Dante, I feel like he got some stuff with him, but as far as all of these other people are concerned, whenever situations have arisen, he will be in that confessional reading them. And sometimes he's in their faces reading them like, nah, that heifer crazy. Nah, bruh, that ain't the way this supposed to go. Like, he really be reading these people. He really, like, he keeps it real when it comes to these situations. So I appreciate that. They seem to be here for one another. And let's just see where it go. Because they seem like really, really here for one another. So we go see. So anyway, we then see Mumin and Frank going out on a date. And they're taking a walk on the mall, if you will. And she feels like he's giving her like a history lesson and all this other stuff. She's over Walter. She's not here for him no more. She feels some type of way. And so despite the fact that she knows that he has strong connection with somebody else, she's willing to see what's going on with it. Well, he took it upon himself to take a golf ball from like this putt-putt place they went to where they had a date. And I think it was like a group date setting. And he put the date on it and her name. And so that was something that was very special that she liked that he did. And I'm just like, I don't feel like he here for her like that. I just don't. I feel like it's like, okay, we having a moment. Let's enjoy this date. I don't really see it. Now, they look good together. When they were walking, they look really good to me. They look good together as a couple, but I don't really see all that. Well, Dante was like, let me talk to Zadia and, see where her head at and see what she talking about. And she was like, look, all the stuff that was going on, I felt ambushed because I walked into a situation where I wasn't protected. You should have protected me. Like, if you really here for me like that, I don't understand. I did not feel protected, all because she didn't know about the tea that happened with Aisha, with him massaging her and all this other stuff. So she felt stupid. She felt like she had egg on her face. So she was like, yeah, that's not cool. So she started to get louder and louder. Eventually, she stood up in his face, put her hand in his face. Like, oh, it was a lot. So she walked off at first. Then she came back. And then she, like, really got in his face and was like, I'm like, why? It's a competition, ma'am. But why? Like, she did the most. And then she called him a fraud and a fake. And I was like, child, it is not that deep. Like, you are really that hurt by you losing. Like, he really was trying to read this woman like, well, if he want to go over there and be with somebody boring like her, who be talking and she don't be talking about nothing, oh, well, whatever, I guess. I was just like, well, apparently she talking about more than what you talking about, because he ain't here for you. So then we see Walter and Sabrina link up. And the way it came off to me was Walter was like, well, my decision was made for me when Mumin wasn't talking to me no more, and she got up when we were talking at the pool. And, you know, it is what it is. Like, they still have their vibe. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. And then she kind of briefly brought up how, you know, she was a stripper. And he was like, I don't know what it is. We always seem to dress alike. So, like, today they both have on black. And so then he brought up the fact that she looked like she could be a madam. And I was like, so that's why she brought up dancing again. I'm like, child, y'all doing the most. So they cute or whatever. So then we see Phil and is it Shiloh? Is it Shiloh in this moment? No. We see Phil and Sydney. Cindy or Sydney. I don't know why I keep saying her name wrong. But anyway, he was trying to figure out where she was with Frank. And, you know, a lot of people seem to be into her or whatever. And so he's trying to figure out where she at. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. And, you know, I like how she approaches these dates with people, because she really does ask the questions that she need to ask. She need to understand how you gonna approach problem solving. Like, she really wants to know about the communication part and how you gonna treat her and how you gonna handle her. And I'm here for it. So that's why she does seem to be like somebody who is ready to love, and she's very intentional. For the most part, let me just say for the most part, because I'm like, girl, I'm gonna leave for you to let go of the fact that you and Frank have this nightlife connection. Okay. I mean, like, unless it's just going to be a situation where you feel like nobody is going to understand the nightlife, then that don't need to be the main thing that y'all have as a connection. And y'all have friends that are part of the nightlife scene and all that stuff too. Do what you do. But anyway, at one point in time during the conversation, you know, he was vulnerable enough to let her in on the fact that his mother passed away 4 years ago, and he felt some type of way about it because he never gave her the one thing that she wanted, which was grandkids. And so I was like, oh, wow. So they kissed. She said something about wetting his whistle. I was like, child, as soon as they showed the commercial for her saying that, I was like, child, this finna be a mess. This finna be a mess. So anyway, the men are in their new location for where the Gentleman's Lounge is going to be at. It's some whiskey bar that's in D.C. that nephew Tommy likes. And so they all start going in about what happened last week when the ladies were going at it. And brought up the fact that there's this brown girl situation going on. And it's like, here we go. You know, don't nobody want to hear that. Like, you're doing too much. And then, like, Naeem, or however he pronounces his name, he's trying to make it seem like it ain't all like that. And I'm like, child, okay, if you want to say that. And so, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And I just like how some of the people were looking. They were cutting their eyes like, It seemed like there were moments where people were reading, and it's like, why? Like, if you're telling a person what's going on and what happened, why you want to sit up there and try somebody? Y'all excuse me. It is raining something terrible. And I'm just like, I'm not even sleepy. Don't do this to me. But I'm glad, because I do have to go to sleep for work soon. But anyway, people were talking about the ones they like or who they don't like. Man, tell me why Naeem had the audacity to say that off rip, Sydney ain't the one, because her voice is annoying off rip, so he ain't even attracted to her. Like, he ain't even here for her. And I just, as soon as he said that, as soon as that left his lips, I was like, sir, I'm gonna need for you to understand that she probably would have never given you a second glance ever in life had you not been on this show, and she had to give everybody at least a once over. Like, don't do this. Don't do it, sir. But anyway, like nobody is checking for him. I'm just trying to understand what I feel like sometimes these men, they have this complex that comes over them when it's their week. I'm just like, you have way too much audacity for me. I can't do it. So anyway, Dante goes over everything that Zadia did, down to her like doing all of this. Man, here come Naeem talking about, oh, I don't see her like that. I feel like, she doesn't treat me like that. So it's like, sir, I don't understand why you don't understand that's a red flag. And the reason why he did that is because someone else was chosen over her. If you would have came at her the same way and said, I have feelings for somebody else, you ain't my number one or anything remotely close to that, you would have got the same treatment. She would have cussed you out in some more. Okay. She probably would have did him way worse. And we ain't even gonna get into that. But if y'all want to say what it is down in the comment section, be my guest, because y'all be knowing. Y'all be reading my mind. So anyway, I'm just like, come on now. So anyway, it then got down to the point where they have chosen Mumin and they have chosen Zadia. And the people that they've chosen to meet up with them is Walter for Mumin and Dante for Zadia. Child, Mumin is over it. Like, as soon as everything happened the way it did, and she felt a certain energy come from Walter, she was over it. And so they finally got into it and, broke down everything. And she was just like, you were not there anymore. I wasn't getting the same vibe from you that I was once before. It was obvious that you were more into Sabrina than me. It is what it is. I mean, hey, whatever. Man, when Phil, I thought Dante, wasn't it? I thought it was Dante. I don't know. I got it mixed up. Phil was the one who met up with Zadia. So he's talking to her, and so she's kind of like out of it too, and I'm just like, oh, child. It is what it is. And it's like you can see everything written all over Zadia's face. And it's just to the point where the way that Phil was trying to talk to her, like, she could see through him that what was coming was coming. And like I said, like, you see how they, how they do the back and forth. They had Mumin talking to Walter, and it's just like, look, I don't have time. You weren't doing what you're supposed to do. And he was just like, look, when you got up and walked away from me when I was trying to communicate with you at the pool, no. And she was just like, I mean, you haven't talked to me. You haven't talked to me in days. Like, what is we talking about? To me, that probably would have confirmed that there was no more us anyway. But yeah, Zadia is trying to prove that she is not here for this. And she was just like, look, I ain't got time for it. It is what it is. I was just like, child, I don't even understand why they drug this out like this. At least Walter and Mumin were able to do what they were going to do. And they hashed everything out because he was like, well, I don't want to be mad at you. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't be mad at her. Like, it's a whole process. And you should be able to respect the fact that she felt some type of way. But at the same time, I feel like she was wrong for getting up and leaving. If she was going to do that, I would have just excused myself or tried to if I wasn't upset enough, but come back later on and say I had to excuse myself from the situation because I did not want to put something out there that would have come across as a way that does not represent me. So yeah, I get that. But it ultimately, Zadia had to go. And she knew what time it was. It is what it is. And then after all was said and done, Naeem met up with Tommy and was like, look, I want to do this the right way. And basically was like, look, I only had one connection here. And I've only been focused on one person and ain't nobody else here that I've connected with, and I don't want to mess up nobody else's connection. So what I'm going to do is excuse myself from the situation and let everybody else do what they're going to do. But anyway, that was the episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Give this video a thumbs up. And let's get down in the comment section and discuss this. Thank you all so very much for dropping by. I hope y'all have a good day. Be safe out there. I'll see y'all later. Bye.